What's up, everybody? Back here at the Austin Action Festival. And I'm excited to interview someone a little bit different this time. I'm with Sam Weston.
Hi.
And from Minnesota.
Yeah, Duluth, Minnesota.
All right, so Sam's here from Minnesota. We got a couple people from out of town, which we always love. But Sam submitted a script. So we're going to be talking about his script, Wizards of the Underworld, and where you got your inspiration for that.
Yeah. So actually, it started out as just kind of a budgetary concern.
Okay.
So I've got one film under my belt already.
Oh.
It's called Glayahan and the Knaves of Industry, but it was shot on a super low budget because starting out as a filmmaker, got to do that one micro budget film with the friends, right?
Yes, you got to cut your teeth.
And so that was the one that was the one that I've already done. And so what I ended up doing is thinking, okay, for my next film, I still got to do something fairly low budget, but in order to. But I still also really want to do a fantasy movie.
Okay.
The problem is that with the world building that I want to do, it's really hard to integrate that with a low budget.
Yes.
So it started out as problem solving. Okay, how do I take the environments that's already around me in Duluth, Minnesota, and just fantasize it? And
I like that word, fantasize.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I ended up figuring out is also around the same time, I was very disappointed by the movie Bright on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Will Smith, Joel Edgerton playing
Yep.
cops with fantasy races in Los Angeles.
Yeah, right.
But it was basically just fantasy races plastered over real world Los Angeles with no consideration for how that would change world history for the last 2,000 years.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So even the name Los Angeles, refers to the angels, which is like Christianity itself. And if this is a world with fantasy, would Christianity even exist? Who knows? But Bright didn't really care. So what I've done with Wizards of the Underworld is, setting this in a proper fantasy world and weaving all of that world building into it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that as well. But then I had to figure out, okay, how do I actually make this work?
Okay.
And so what I figured out was magic is banned in this world. Magic exists, but it's banned in order to basically to remove a lot of the visual effects necessary to make that work.
Oh.
It's all budget. But
smart.
Yeah.
So, that is really smart, Sam.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, so I have this vision. I want to do this thing. Here's my constraints. How do I work around it?
Yeah.
All right.
And so, but then I came around to figuring out, or to asking myself the question, okay, why is magic banned in this world?
Okay.
It's all just questions all the way down.
Yeah.
So why is magic in this world, or why is magic banned in this world? Well, because magic is dangerous. Is it dangerous though? And that's what the story kind of gets into. I'm rambling.
No, that's great, Sam. You're clearly really passionate about your writing and about your projects.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that.
This is also set in a world that I've been developing for 10 years in
Really?
one far off corner of this world. But that's a story for another time, unfortunately.
All right. So eventually, do you want to turn this into where you have projects like J.R.R. Tolkien or people like that, or even like Star Trek, where they've written languages to go along with it? Do you envision it being bigger?
I have already created the Orcish language.
Oh, shut up!
Yes.
Oh, wicked!
Yes.
All right.
It's a kludge. It's based on the grammar of Esperanto with completely new vocabulary, but it is still a language. It is not just not just rewording English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It also needs a little bit more development before we go into production, but that's the kind of thing that I have friends for.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's what we've been talking about that a lot today. Team building, getting people together that you trust, and having folks that can help, project your vision from the paper to the screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you have plans to put Wizards of the Underworld into production soon?
I have goals, yes. I don't quite have plans yet.
Not yet.
The thing is, in order to make this work, we're
Yeah.
going to have to raise a bit of a budget.
Okay.
So it's not like high by Hollywood standards, but it's high by independent standards, you know? And so it's the kind of thing where we are going to need investors to pull this
Yeah.
off.
What are you thinking? 100,000, 200,000?
I'm thinking closer to $1.5 million.
Ah, okay,
unfortunately.
1.5 million.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you know that's not Hollywood money.
It's not high,
But it's a little
not
bit
Hollywood
higher than
money.
independent, right? So you're doing the stretch. I like that
Yeah,
stretch
exactly.
goal.
Exactly.
Good.
But the thing is that like, even here at this level, it's still hard to find somebody to like who's willing to put their foot forward to make this happen.
Yeah.
So that's really the stage where my producers and I are at right now.
Yep.
Is promoting myself and my work, promoting this script.
Yep.
And hopefully getting somebody who wants to to make this a reality.
Yeah.
The people who have read this are all like, yes, this is amazing. We need to make this happen. I don't have the resources to make this happen,
Yet.
but it needs to happen.
Yet,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why you're here this weekend, right? Because at the Austin Action Fest and Market, you actually get to pitch your idea to multiple producers, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
pretty cool.
It would be great if some of these producers were here in person, but
Hey. Wait, Jennifer's not going to be here in person today? She's doing it online?
I don't know. I think she's doing it here in person. I didn't realize she was one of the producers that you're thinking of.
Yeah, Jennifer's
Okay,
one of the producers.
okay.
Oh, yeah,
We're
yeah.
in sync now.
All right. I was like, wait a second. What do you mean she's not going to be here? Is she doing that remotely?
fair.
That is so chintzy. Jennifer, I'm going to give you crap if you're doing it remotely.
That was my mistake.
No. So what do you think, what would you say inspired you to get involved in film and in the film industry and writing stories?
It's because I was writing fantasy books as a kid in high school, and I realized, the way that I'm writing these is really just, it was a lot of dialogue, a lot of action, a lot of sound cues, and I was like, why don't I just write this as a script? And then, so I got it.
Fun.
So it was really just a natural like evolution of my own writing style until eventually I learned, in order to make the movies that I'm writing the way that I actually expect them to, in order to have them present the way that I expect them to be when I'm writing them, I'm going to have to be the one to direct. And so that's how I came to the decision about 10 years ago of, I need to be a fantasy writer and director. So that's kind of how it all came out.
Cool. I have to admit, I think if I had a screenplay, I would have a hard time, I think, letting somebody else direct it. I would at least need to be like a co-director or something.
Don't get me wrong. I am happy to, write projects for other people.
Yeah.
It's just that like for the ones that really get me excited, those are the ones that, if I'm writing it with the intention of it being, coming from my soul, that's when I'm more interested in directing it myself.
All right. Well, I'm really excited for the pitch session.
Oh, thanks.
So tell everybody, where can they find your projects that you've worked on? How can they follow you? Are you on the socials, websites, all that
Yeah,
stuff?
so my production company is Battlemage Films. We're based in Duluth, Minnesota. Technically, it is just me, but I've got a lot of friends who are excited, and as soon as I'm able to actually hire them, they're getting hired.
Heck yeah.
So it's sort of like sort of a small collective of people. Our entire goal as a production company is to write or to make fantasy movies.
Cool.
But so we're at battlemagefilms.com.
Battlemagefilms.com.
Also at Battlemage Films for basically everything on social media.
On the socials, all
and
right.
Then for me myself, I am at Sam Weston. That's AW Sam Weston with an O.
Is that like, aw?
Yeah, a little bit. The idea was, I misspelled it, but the idea was awesome, but it's awesome.
Oh my God, that's really cute.
There's a story.
Oh my God, that is adorable.
There's a story behind that. I'm not sure we have time for it.
Okay, is it a quick story?
It's not.
You can't can you tell it in 30 seconds?
I don't think I can.
Okay.
I don't think 30 seconds does it justice.
Does it justice. Okay, but Awesam is adorable, and maybe you should tell everybody on social media where it comes from.
Maybe I will.
You can do a quick little video telling everybody.
I've thought about making that TikTok.
Yeah. All right, do it. And go see Wizards of the Underworld when it comes out. Check out Sam's social media, see what he's up to. And if you're interested, if you like to do fantasy, if you're in the Duluth, Minnesota area, get together, collaborate, see what you guys can do together. Fantasy is a great genre.
Oh, yeah.
And people love it. So we love those characters. I think there's something about getting to go into that world that you create and really being a part of that new place.
It's like a whole new level of escapism beyond just like regular, going to a movie and seeing something that takes place in our world.
Yeah.
Fantasy really transports you to something new where you're able to look at something on its own face rather than coming into it with our own preconceived, with our own prejudices.
Oh my God, isn't that so true? We don't even realize just, we prejudge so many things as we go throughout our life and throughout our day. Oh, I've seen that before. Oh, I know what that is. But that ability to kind of subvert expectation and really dig into something new, I think is important.
Yeah, the ability to establish something as true, so that's one of the reasons why I continue to want to make fantasy movies beyond just the base level. Oh, it's what I've wanted to do since I was a kid. As the years go on, my love for fantasy and my reason for wanting to do fantasy keeps getting deeper. And so it's just really exciting, the being able to show people these things on its own terms.
I love that. I love it. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you,
Thanks
Ericka.
for chatting with me.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, everybody.